How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully, everyone is having a lovely day. There has been one team that has owned Joe Burrow and these Bengals in these past couple of years. It is not the Chiefs. It's not the Ravens. It ain't the Bills. It's none other than the Cleveland Browns. The one team this Cincinnati Bengals cannot figure out how to beat is the Cleveland Browns. You got to give a whole lot of credit to this coaching staff, Stefanski. These guys have just figured out a ways. They know something the rest of this league doesn't on beating this Cincinnati Bengals team. It obviously comes again. You just look at what they got. They got a really good, the best running back in the league right now in Nick Chubb, in my opinion. When you got a good offensive line and then a running back that carries guys through contact for about 8 yards, seemingly every single carry, you're going to have a really good run game. And then you look at their defense, they really have that game wrecker in Myles Garrett. That game wrecker that has been the Bengals' Achilles heel throughout numerous games against the Browns. And we say against the Browns, really it was a problem throughout the season for the Bengals last year, this year. But boy, are things changing for the Cincinnati Bengals these last 3-4 games now, where this offensive line has been playing stellar. It has been without question. It's crazy when I watched Joe Burrow drop back the other day against the Kansas City Chiefs. And you see that number 9 on a jersey, and I started thinking Carson Palmer. I was thinking, man, is this the last time we've seen a quarterback sit back there and look that composed with that much time to throw the football in a Cincinnati Bengals uniform? It feels like it's been a while. But when you see Joe Burrow sit back there with time to throw, you feel like you're getting the first down every time. You feel like something good's going to happen. And I think we're finally getting to see what Joe Burrow is fully capable of with protection these last few games. And the Bengals have been next to unstoppable. They've been playing really good ball. And I think that's going to be the difference maker in this one. It is the Myles Garrett versus Bengals offense. This guy can change the game. He's done it before. He's got a sack in the last 5 games. He's played against the Cincinnati Bengals each of the last 5 games. And he's got the ability to go up there, deflect the passes, something the Bengals offensive line's been susceptible of. And he's got the ability to knock down that quarterback and change the game. We've seen him do it before. We've seen him do it again. Or we'll see him do it again. And he's got to do it in this game if the Browns want to win this football game. All things considered, we have some big changes of scenery in this game. Bengals had no DJ Reader. They had no Jamar Chase. DJ Reader coming back. The guy's something else. He is one of the most underrated interior players in the league, I think. And to see him come back, the Bengals' premier run stopper, that's going to help against, again, this Cleveland Browns run attack. But then Jamar Chase, clearly, obviously, big weapon for the Bengals coming back, going to change things for this offense, which I think, again, is going to help play into this Bengals offense's hands, this Bengals team's hand, who's on absolute fire right now. Then we go to the Cleveland Browns. It's no secret that Deshaun Watson has come back through all the controversy, through wanting out of Houston, before all the controversy, and he comes back and plays his former team, the Houston Texans, the team he wanted nothing to do with, and he laid an absolute egg. A guy you thought was coming to Cleveland, going to be their franchise guy, and he laid an absolute egg in a revenge game. The one game of the year you would expect him to play the best, to come prepared to the best, is the Houston Texans. I'll tell you what, if I was a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm worried. I'm really worried. I get it. There's a long time since you played. You're going to have some rust. But as a quarterback that was suspended, who had all this time to practice, there was no reason this guy couldn't been in practice facilities, in his backyard, whatever, throwing passes to people. He could have thrown passes to some high school kids and running around. Anybody. The fact that he played in this Houston Texans game and he was throwing the ball into the dirt, into the feet of players throughout the entire game, his accuracy was not good. And that tells me he did not come prepared and ready for that football game against a Houston Texans team that has not won much at all. They have won a game. We'll settle it there. They have won a game. I almost want, there has to be some big progression from last week to this week, I think, if you're the Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson. Because if he plays like he did last week, that's going to be I don't want to say the weakest, but that's kind of what it is. of the quarterbacks the Bengals have had to go up against recently in Cleveland. You've seen Baker Mayfield. We've seen Jacoby Brissett just look like all-stars against the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Again, that's not the bash on the Bengals defense. I think you have to give so much credit to this Cleveland Browns coaching staff and the way they figured out how to beat the Bengals. They've consistently figured out ways to put points on the board. They've consistently figured out ways to make it so the Bengals just can't stop them offensively. But if you're a quarterback on those 3rd and 6s or 3rd and 5s and you're forced to try to pick up these first downs against a potent Bengals offense and you're missing guys like he did last week against Houston, you are not going to win this football game. It's just not going to happen. I don't think the Bengals are going to have those turnovers that Houston had last week that the Cleveland Browns defense, turned into points. I think Cleveland's going to have a tough one in this one. I think it's still going to be a close game because I just think it's just the way this team plays, the way they game plan against the Bengals, all credit given to them. They still have talented players. How's Amari Cooper going to do? We're thinking Bengals again. They see Travis Kelce. Seen the way they lock down Travis Kelce. That's more of the guy coming off the line of scrimmage. How are we going to see how's Amari Cooper going to do against this Eli Apple, Cam Taylor-Britt, no Cheeto Awuzie out there for the Bengals? How are we going to see these guys do this week? It does take time for that chemistry to form. The Bengals might be catching the Browns at a really good time here because, again, it's a team the Bengals struggle with. But we're catching them against Watson, who is clearly still rusty. I don't think that rust goes away in one game. I think we continue to see that. I'm going to say the Bengals win this one, 27-24. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.